make sure you subscribe to the podcast if you've gotten this far. I need to keep saying that because, like, if I cut it up into clips like I do, I need to make sure I say it in every clip. But no, things we need
Put
to.
it in the preview clip.
Yeah, I should put some like thing that drops down halfway through or something. But things to watch out for in week 7 of the NFL. What are you excited for this week?
Well, I've said this one 3 weeks in a row, but I just have to keep it there until it actually happens. But Michael Thomas' impact on the Saints offense, I say it every week. So, yeah, not much to be said.
Yeah.
Need him to bloody play.
Yeah, the Saints are going to, like, I don't want to keep bringing this back to fantasy, but the Saints are going to dictate how I go for fantasy. Now, Drew Brees is my QB2 and Cook, although Gronk is producing, he's probably, in my opinion, still my tight end 1. So hopefully the Saints come back after the bye and they come back to 2019 form. But yeah, definitely excited to see how he goes, especially after we've seen how Julio can transform the Falcons offense. We'll see if he can do the same thing there. For me, number 1 is who is the early king of the AFC? Who's the front runner? We've got the Steelers versus the Titans, the 2 undefeated AFC teams matching up against each other. Only one's going to come out undefeated still, barring a tie. And yeah, very exciting to see this one. Going to be interesting to see how the Steelers defense matches up against the Titans offense, because so far the Titans offense hasn't really met anyone that can stop them since week 10 last year. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go against what has been the most consistent defense in the last, year, season and a bit. So very excited for that one. I'm not sure what time it is. Hopefully it's in the 4 a.m. slot, so the lads are just absolutely out of their heads just watching it. Are we going round 2, by the way? Are we going the 4 a.m.?
There's a good chance. I have an assignment due at 9 a.m, so I might be...
Well, I'm doing it out of leisure, so you'll be joining me.
Honestly,
mate.
I probably would have done it out of leisure anyway, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Henry, because they're clearly the number 1 run defense in the NFL, and I believe one of the Titans' linemen got injured.
He did
against the Texans.
It's like Taylor Lewin or something, and apparently he's like one of the best.
Yeah,
and they traded one of their tackles to the Browns in the off season. So yeah, bit of a worry for Tannehill and Henry. What any other things you want to mention for week 7 of the NFL?
The Pittsburgh wide receiver situation. I'm keen to see if Juju is going to be the number 3 receiver for the rest of the season there. I don't know. Deontay Johnson's an interesting one. You picked him up on fantasy. I'm hoping he stays as the alpha target man.
Thanks.
He's honestly one of my favorite players. Have no idea why, but I think he's a really good player. And obviously Chase Claypool is a weapon. So
yeah. My next one is, are the Bears legit? They've just been scraping together these weird wins over the last few weeks. They did beat the Bucks in their defense, but yep, they scraped a win over the Panthers on the past week, and this week they're up against the Rams at the Rams. So I think this is I think we'll find out if they can scrape together a win here. I think we're just going to find out that they're going to make the playoffs doing this, because their defense is so good. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how their offense goes against the likes of Aaron Donald, because they've been struggling at the best of times. So be interesting to see how many points they can put up there. And they are 5-1, so a win here, and it's almost sewed up for them. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Bears go. Anything else you want to mention?
Yeah, this is the one I'm nervous about for my fantasy team, but the Chiefs backfield with Le'Veon Bell going there. I'm praying that Clyde Edwards-Helaire stays as the alpha role. I think he will. Like, Bell will take some snaps, but I'm hoping Bell just comes out on 3rd down, because he's just a huge upgrade on Darrell Williams and Darwin Thompson. So he'll probably catch a few passes and be a touchdown threat, but I reckon Clyde will still get those 20 carries per game.
Yeah, I hope so for you, brother, because you've copped a lot of average luck so far in fantasy.
Thanks, mate.
Who are they playing?
Denver, so not a good matchup for running back.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. My final point is, can Dallas still make the playoffs? They've got Washington, and if they lose against Washington, I know it's only Dalton's second match under center, but I'm probably ready to put a line through them if they lose this weekend. I think this is their first. Like the Cardinals, they've got a pretty good record now, but going into it, I don't think they're in the greatest of form, and they put Dallas to the sword. So Washington, who just lost to the Giants in a low-scoring affair, if they can beat Dallas, yeah, I'm willing to rule them out, and I'm willing to hand the crown to the Eagles already in Week 7. So interested to see who comes out on top there. Anything else you want to mention before we go?
Yeah, that actually is very interesting because I still think Washington are tanking, but honestly, if they don't tank, I reckon they're genuinely a sniff to beat the Cowboys because I think it's in Washington.
Yeah, it is. And Washington's defense is probably underrated.
Yeah.
I think, especially their run D, which is not ideal for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and the Cowboys' O-line's been severely underperforming. I think they have a couple injuries through it, so they might struggle.
Before we go, I just thought of this question. I always think of questions after I want to ask them, if you know what I mean. But you said Melvin Gordon was a faller. Where does that put Phil Lindsay?
Yeah, I was going to mention that. He's interesting because, I mean, he'll be the obviously alpha there if Gordon's out, but he doesn't. We've kind of saw in previous seasons he doesn't really average huge even when he is the alpha. So I don't know, but definitely should be rostered. I think Quinn has him though. So
yeah, I'm not keen on him at all. I don't know why I've asked it, but there's a general consensus in the league that Phil Lindsay's the greatest player ever. Like, I feel like for some reason everyone froths him. Don't know if it's his hair or something, but yeah, in terms of fantasy, he's not been great the last few seasons. So I don't know. On the weekend though, he didn't get a touchdown, and I think he got 11 points or something just off base stats. So that's not a bad starting point if Melbourne does get suspended for 3 or 4 weeks.
Against the Pats as well.
Yeah, that's not bad. Their defense has been pretty poor though this season.
I think their run D has been quite good.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. All right. Any final statements you want before we sign off?
No, mate, that's it. Keen to watch some Will Fuller highlights before I go to sleep, but that's about it. Just acquired him in fantasy for those playing at home.
Yeah, keen for our Will Fuller, Deontay. Wait, who was I trading
Jefferson
for him? Oh, yeah, Justin Jefferson. That's right. Well, that'll be done before Sunday. I put money on it. But yeah, thanks for joining me as usual, Pilch. Loved it, even though it's been a long one. Hopefully you haven't minded.
I loved it, mate.
But yeah, if you've enjoyed the episode, feel free to subscribe, follow, like, comment, just everything. Get around the social medias. This is a weekly episode, and we do other sports in and around it. So if you just like NFL, you can just tune in every Thursday for this one. Or if you're just a lover of sports, just keep an eye out because there's always different episodes coming out. But thanks for listening. If you've got this far, very well done. And yeah, same time, same place next week. We'll catch you there. Enjoy week 7. Looking forward to the night shift. See you, lads.
Queensland, it's a miracle. Oh yeah! What about that one? Unbelievable. Balotelli, Aguero. Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.